You and many others, Rowan Atkinson, for example, but I think Constantine Kistner have had the same thing. So it's very hard to be funny in Britain today because people take offence and the law allows the most extraordinary.
Yes, I don't know so much about the law. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. I think that the greatest problem has been this business about offending. I remember, Monty Python used to offend people, but the Director General at that time, his name was Carlton Green. He was the brother of Graham Greene, the novelist. He was Director General, and he said there are some people one would wish to offend. Well, it's a wonderful attitude. Just because I'm offended by something, it doesn't mean that I'm some poor helpless victim who's been beaten to a pulp by somebody's joke. What it means is that I'm chosen to be a victim. That all those great qualities that the Stoics tried to inculcate past. Regard stoicism and putting up with difficulties without complaining, that's gone. Now we've all got to be victims. And it's very, very easy to be a victim,
Well, I agree.
In fact, I think there should be a television show where people compete against each other to see who has been victimized the most.
Well, there you go. Now you've cost me my train of thought.
Sorry, well, it doesn't matter. You can always edit this bit.
It does seem to me, though, that this inability now to laugh at ourselves and to take offence flies in the face of something that, if I'm really honest, there have been times when I've had to learn something painful about myself, and I could have reacted two ways. I could have said, "Oh, I'm a victim. You've hurt me. Go, well, I'll shut you down. I'll cancel you. I'll try and do whatever." Or, "Gosh, that hurt, but there's an element of truth in it."
Well, that's what a real Christian would do. See, what instead of immediately batting the criticism away, you would think, "Is that true? Is that true of me? How true is it? Not is it true, black or white, true or untrue, but to what extent is there truth in that?" And people find that very, very difficult to do. They don't really want to be criticized. And what the mistake that the woke people say is that all humor is critical, not puns.
Yeah.
They're not critical, but any kind of Fawlty Towers humor, any kind of film or stage humor, because you don't laugh at perfect people. If someone is kind and wise and generous, there's nothing funny about them. It's when they fall below that and become greedy or lustful or spiteful, that's when they become funny. So all humor is critical, but the question is, how is the criticism conveyed? If we tease friends, it's done with affection. And affectionate teasing is actually a bonding mechanism because it's saying to people, particularly like the English, who can't say anything really loving or affectionate to people without getting embarrassed. So in England, we insult someone because what we're basically saying, I could never say this to someone I didn't love because it would be so rude, but I can say it to you because I love you. It's a bonding mechanism. Do you see what I mean?
Oh, well, that's Australian as well.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's right. Well, the same sense of humour, which is great.
And sometimes, you watch Australians think they've got to have a couple of beers at the bar before they even get to that point.
Yeah.
But it still happens.
Well, then people begin to loosen up, and as they relax, they get more humorous and get more creative, and everything gets better. What I wanted to say was, because there are people who are unkind or who become unkind under certain circumstances, and they do nasty teasing, that's awful. We don't do that. It's not supposed to be funny. It certainly isn't affectionate. It's actually trying to hurt people's feelings, which is a dreadful thing to do. So that kind of teasing, the mean teasing, the non-humorous, non-affectionate, that's out. But the woke people don't understand the difference between the two because it requires understanding of differing contexts, and they can't do that.
And so what happens then is they run for the law book.
Yes,
the laws.
That's right.
So then we tie ourselves up in...
Not a lot of humor in the law.
No. Well, it can end up restricting humor which is, as you just really very effectively painted, is a very important part of free speech.
Huge important.
It shines lights on things.
And it lifts something in us that moves us to a better part of ourselves for a few minutes or half an hour, maybe an afternoon. I mean, I'm very touched with how many people have told me that when they have a bad day at the office, they come back and the first thing they do, make a cup of tea or coffee and watch an episode of Fawlty. Half an hour later, their life's all right again. So I'm also a therapist.
I hadn't quite thought of you in that way, but but you raise a really important and interesting point there, I think, and that is that we have a responsibility to think carefully about how we use and how we express humour, and the need sometimes to say to somebody, "Listen, Jock, you need to shape up a bit here," those sorts of things, because the Americans tell me, Americans who understand this stuff, you can actually trace the decline in support on American university campuses for free speech. It sort of kind of tracked social media and smartphones, and then it flipped, and American students now on balance will not say, we support free speech, we support appropriate speech. Well, who determines what's appropriate?
Exactly.
And we've seen how clumsy the law gets. But I would posit that that is one of the downsides of social media. People used it to insult others. And so many of those students have been so hurt by what the bullying online that they've said, this has got to stop, find me some laws to present, because people haven't behaved responsibly in the first place.